Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know,
Hello, welcome to my channel. This video is for you if you are going to Gran Serenis Riviera Maya, or if you're thinking about going there or you have been there and you want to know a little bit more about the food and drinks on offer. Also in this video we're going to give you a absolutely diamond top tip if you are going to Coco Bongo, what you need to do when you come back from there in relation to the Riviera Maya. So there's an awful lot to say about the food and drink. We might as well just dive straight in. So I'm back from there, been back 2-3 weeks now. Absolutely loved it. The food and drink was probably one of the best that I've experienced on an all-inclusive resort, which was absolutely brilliant to be able to come back and say, because sometimes you never quite know, do you, with the buffet style sorts of things, but the food was always very hot and the drinks were incredible, and we're going to get into very specifics about that. So there are 7 a la carte restaurants in this resort. One of them is an extra charge and the other 6 are part of your booking that you've already paid for. So I'm going to give you tips on what they're like. We went to 6 of them, and other little areas of the resort that you might not find unless you knew about it. So first of all, let's get to the important bit, the cocktails. So the cocktails were really good there. My favourite personally was pina colada, and they always make it in an ice crusher with lots of ice and things. Now they do taste good. They're very sweet, so I think there's probably quite a high sugar content in there. In case you don't know, I am a nutritionist, but they were just so lovely. And if you could go up to the swim up bar, through the swimming pool to the swim up bar on a hot day and get your icy drink, pina colada, absolutely lovely. Now you did see an awful lot of people there that had their own water bottles, their own drink bottles, and I would recommend taking your own if you possibly can, because they will very happily fill them up with your drink of choice or your water in there. Now they don't have very much in the way of plastic in the place, which is obviously good for the environmental. So you won't find fridges full of water bottles for you there just to go and help yourself with. You need to go and ask for water. There will be some water in your room, which obviously you can use that and that will get replenished. Don't drink from the tap. Obviously goes to stand to say most of the countries abroad are the same. And when you are sitting by the swimming pool, you will find they'll very happily come and serve you. The ladies or the gents come around with their tray, ask you what you'd like to drink, go off to the bar and get it for you and bring it back. It's quite nice if you can cross their palmas and silver and just put $1 or 20 pesos, which is equivalent to about £1, on their tray when they bring you a drink. That's a really nice gesture. Now, one thing I will say is that because the cocktails are so icy and so tasty, be careful of brain freeze, because that got me a few times. I didn't learn and I was like, oh, it really hurts. In your room, you will find a mini fridge. Now, the contents in the mini fridge are free and they will replenish those daily. If you've got a specific request, make sure you ask your concierge. So at the bottom of there's like a block, the blocks I'll show you on the map. So here's the map, and these are all different blocks of hotels, and in the majority of the blocks there's a concierge in there, and you go and ask them if you've got any specific requests. So for example, 2 of us in my room liked to have Coke Zero, and very seldom did we get Coke Zero in our fridge. So just go and ask the concierge, would you mind asking, and they will tell the maids, please put some Coke Zero in that room. Also, the concierge is there for many different reasons for you, but I would really urge you, and I've seen this all over the internet, people do say make sure that you go to the concierge soon after your arrival and book your a la carte meals, because they get booked up very quickly and it's quite tricky to fit it in, especially if you're going on trips and things and you're limited for time, or if you've got small children and you're limited for time. You can go to 3 a la carte restaurants per week of staying there. So if you're staying for 2 weeks, you can choose 6 different a la cartes. My favourite find of ours was called El Rancho, also known as the Steakhouse Restaurant, which was near one of the swimming pools. There's two main swimming pools. In fact, there's probably 3, but there's 2 that people speak of, and the other one is called the Quiet Pool, which is, as you would imagine, it's a quiet pool. So it's called the Steakhouse El Rancho, and you can get breakfast in there. It's much more small and intimate. The food is probably the same. In fact, we didn't actually go to the other buffet restaurant at all for breakfast, but El Rancho was lovely, and it's open from 8 o'clock, and breakfast goes on quite late there. They tend to not close it for lunch so much, but it goes from breakfast straight into lunch, and it's part of your all-inclusive. It looks like it's not going to be, but I checked around and watched everybody's wristband and they were. Another small tip there, if you're a coffee snob like I am, ask for cappuccino, because the coffee that they come around and bring that's like the filter coffee, it's very, very strong. It depends on your flavour, on your personal taste of course, but for me I like the cappuccino, and they were very happy to go and get one made from the machine and bring it over for us. Also on site there is a coffee shop, and it is part of your all-inclusive. You can go in there and they have like little macaroon type biscuits in there and lots of different coffees. You can even get your syrups and flavourings in there like vanilla, caramel, that kind of thing. That's open early till late. The coffee shop is open from 8 in the morning till 11 o'clock at night, so there's plenty of chance there for you to go get your coffee. And another little find is the ice cream parlour. Now that's open from 10 o'clock till 5 o'clock, and that is near one of the other activity pools. The one that's got the big Spider-Man outside at the moment. Obviously that probably might change, but that's the Coco Bongo theme at the moment, and you'll see Coco Bongo everywhere. There will be another video coming up really shortly telling you about Coco Bongo, showing you our night out there. There's not so much information on there, but I will talk about it beneath the video description and also in the blog post, which will be linked underneath as well. So the ice cream parlour is very much you get your ice creams that they scoop out for you. My favourite was coconut. It was really nice. You could also get mango sorbet in there, which my daughter liked quite a lot. And it's worth noting that in the restaurant there, in the ice cream parlour, there is a dress code, because obviously it's near the swimming pool and a lot of people just want to walk in their swimwear. That isn't allowed, and they are very strict on that. You'll need to put some clothes on and some shoes. So just your throw over and your flip-flops will be fine, but they will send you away if you go in there just in your swimming costume. The regular buffet restaurant for your breakfast is open from 7 a.m. till 10. And just going back to the steakhouse just quickly, so after they've had lunch, they close the doors to set up ready for the evening when it becomes an a la carte, which is the steakhouse. Between those times, they do put out afternoon tea, and there's some sandwiches and cakes. If you're like me, you're gluten-free and celiac, it is very disappointing in this resort. There is hardly anything on offer for gluten-free eaters. There's no cake there that's gluten-free whatsoever. There is lots of fruit, so you can just take that as your sort of sweet tooth satisfier of choice. So there'll be lots of melon, and papaya was one of my particular favourites, but it was pretty much all we could have for desserts. If you're not celiac, when you don't eat gluten-free, go there and enjoy the afternoon tea. It's lovely. And then of course it becomes the a la carte in the evening, and we went there and ordered our steaks, and my son had a T-bone and it looked very juicy and very delicious, and I tried a bit and it was really, really nice. I asked for my steak medium rare, and I don't think they quite understood what I said, and it came out and it was pretty much cooked well done, and it was a shame because it was quite dry. My recommendation here would be to ask for it rare, and if it comes out it's a little bit too underdone for you, ask them to flash it back in the pan, because as I said earlier, the service here is excellent, and I'm really, really sure that they would very happily do that for you without any sort of eye rolling going on. That's not their style at all. They are very accommodating. Generally, when I'm away on an all-inclusive resort, lunch can be very much one of my favourite meals. So there's lots of choices here for lunch. You've got the buffet restaurants, and there is also a barbecue on the beach, which is amazing because you get really nice views that you can sit there and look out onto the beach while you're having your barbecued food. In all of the restaurants they have a variety of risotto, which is always in the massive dishes, and it's really, really nice. Very tasty, and there's just so much choice. There's literally something for everybody. It doesn't matter really what your taste is there. Since coming back, I've seen on social media that you can eat on the beach of an evening time, some sort of barbecue thing. Now I don't know what this is and I didn't manage to see it, but somebody said that there's 3 times a week you can go and eat on the beach with the barbecue meal, and it looked lovely. If any of you have been, can you please leave comments in the description box, not the description box, in the comments down below, and let us know about that, because that looked amazing on this person's Instagram post. But like I say, I'm not too sure what that is. I can't give you any information on that. A lot of people say you can't get particularly drunk out there. Well, it depends obviously on what you're drinking. There are a lot of champagne corks popping there. Champagne is really nice there. It isn't too dry, it isn't too sweet. It's just quite nice, and they do pop the corks like all the time. So you know that what's in the bottle is what you're going to get. And I would suggest be careful with the bubbles, because you know, in the heat and all the rest of it, you can find that it does make you slightly tipsy. I saw quite a few people at breakfast time drinking the Bucks Fizz, made that out of the champagne and orange juice, which was lovely. Going back to the Diet Coke thing, we asked for it with lime, and sometimes it came up with a slice of lime in it. They've got a lot of lime there because of obviously the drinking the tequila. So you suck your, well, we do it with lemons here, but they do it with limes. And very often they would squeeze the lime, like get all the bits out into the Diet Coke with the ice. It was really a nice drink. In the steakhouse for breakfast in the mornings, there was literally conversations being had over the yogurt section, okay? Because there's this really creamy and very sweet yogurt section, and there's all sorts of different flavours there. They've got mango, they've got peach, which I had, which was lovely, and strawberry. And I used to like getting that. There's plastic glasses you can get there for your fruit juice and stuff. Put it in the plastic glass, put some nuts and some dried fruit on it, get a little teaspoon and take it back out on my sun lounger after breakfast and sit there and just eat that at leisure and watch the world go by. For some reason, one of the questions I've been asked quite a lot is, what are the hash browns like? There are lovely hash browns there for breakfast. They're always cooked like really nice. There's nothing worse than an undercooked hash brown, is there? They're really nice. Main buffet, there's sushi is served quite regularly, and it's really nice. Make sure you go and try that. Tuesday nights, definitely don't miss out on the main buffet restaurant, because that is Mexican night. I think it's once a fortnight. There's the Coco show. Do you remember the film Disney Pixar, I think it was, that had Coco in it? They put a show on for that, so it's all Mexican themed that night. There are some street stalls near the entertainment area where you can buy little bits and pieces. There's no pressure there. They're very good. You can go and have a look. They will not pressure you if you say no. I did some haggling about a lamp that I wanted. Didn't quite come down cheap enough for me, so I did walk away, and there was no issues about that whatsoever. There's also some Mexican band that you'll find in the lobby area when you come out of your meal. In the restaurant of the evening time, there's all sorts of Mexican food that goes on. There's music, there's a few little dancers going on. It's really worth seeing, and they put out lots of Mexican flags and it looks brilliant. A couple of side notes. One, there are a lot of animals around the resort. I've got a specific video entitled Wildlife at Gran Serenis. It was one of my highlights. I loved it. I love seeing all the animals. I'll link the video below. Make sure you go and check that out. But please don't feed the animals. They've got it written everywhere. It spoils the ecosystem. It isn't good for the animals. They don't want to eat your stuff, obviously. They want to eat what they're supposed to eat. So please don't feed them. Also, there's coatis that look like little foxes, and they will come and steal your drinks. If you've got them even up on the side under the umbrella, they will climb up on there and they will knock them off, and they will take the residue. Sometimes they can be knocked off into your bag or your shoes, so make sure you don't leave them unattended, especially in the afternoon. The coatis come out when it's getting slightly cooler. The other side note, a very serious one, if you've got food allergies, specific allergies, go and speak to your concierge. As I said earlier, they're on the desks in the room, in the area of the rooms, and they're very, very helpful. They will give you a little card that you can take around to the restaurant. If you want to ask any of the staff who may be not quite so fluent in English, it's translated into their language to say about which room you're from, what your name is, and the specific allergy. So they will be able to help you with food that you can and can't have. They might need to go and converse with the chef. If it's a severe anaphylactic shock allergy, I would suggest that you make an appointment to go and speak to one of the higher members of staff, management, or even the executive chef. They will be more than happy to point out to you when you come into the restaurant. They will flag up to the staff, this person must not eat this and we need to be extra careful. I don't like to think of people not travelling because they've got food allergies. There are things that they can do to accommodate it. Generally, you'll know your limits. You'll know what you can get away with and what you can't, and if that's a risk you can take or if it's a risk you can't. I know that through my gluten allergy. But if you go speak to the executive chef, and they will definitely help you. There is a bar of an evening time called the Sky Bar. Well, it's open all day actually, but evening times they often have live bands there. It's quite a good place because this resort is so huge. It's very difficult to find somewhere that you can kind of congregate and meet up with people that you've chatted to the day before, and I know a lot of people like that. So this particular bar is quite good for that, and there is little areas where sometimes people get up and have a boogie, which again is something that I felt was quite lacking there. There's going and watching the shows is great, and the entertainment area is absolutely huge, but it's quite nice sometimes, isn't it, to have a drink, get up, have a little dance and sing along to the band. There is a lot of the music that's played is quite sort of local area music, so if you're any good with salsa, you're going to love that. And the Sky Bar's got a lovely atmosphere, and they've got such a huge array of drinks there. They will make your cocktails, they work damn hard, and they have got a smile on their faces. I've been asked more than anything about mosquitoes in the Sky Bar. We didn't have an issue specifically with mosquitoes in the Sky Bar, but what we did find is that we was putting our spray on well before we left the room, so that might have been why. Some people get bitten loads, some people go, no, I didn't get bitten at all, when I normally do. So there's really no hard and fast rule, but it is well known because it's in the jungle, this resort, and it is Caribbean, it is subtropical, so it is known that there's going to be mosquitoes around. So I would say take your spray. Just before I talk about the a la carte restaurants, there is a fresh juice bar near the Quiet Pool, between the Quiet Pool and the beach, and it's near the Lazy River, that kind of area. And there they will make fresh juices for you, and they are lovely. All part of your all-inclusive once again. I had carrot, orange and beetroot, and it was really nice. So there's such an array of choices there. If you wanted to be somebody that's particularly healthy while you're away, you can do that. It's a little bit tricky, isn't it, to limit when you've got such nice things in front of you, but this juice bar was great. Okay, let's talk about the a la carte restaurants. We didn't go to the Mediterranean restaurant. That was one that we ended up missing out on, but I hear that was lovely. That's the word on the street or on the social media is that the Mediterranean is really worth a look. The Italian restaurant was my favourite to look at. It was all black and white and it looked really nice. I was very comfortable in that restaurant. The temperature was nice, the seating was nice, the service was good in all of them. The food was nice, it wasn't quite my favourite. The Mexican, I would say, was my favourite, which surprised me. The food in there was lovely and it was really tasty and the service was amazing, but the Thai restaurant was my other favourite as well, and I was surprised at that too because I'd never eaten Thai food ever before and I had to be quite careful of my choice, whether it was going to be spicy or not. But that was absolutely great and I really enjoyed that in there. There's also the Japanese restaurant. Now this is great entertainment in there. It is literally a show put on by the chef. He cooks in front of you for the majority of the meals. They took my meals out the back because obviously the gluten crossover, cross-contamination, but it was really nice food, absolutely delicious. They will serve your drinks at the table as well, and it is really a good laugh and you get to meet some other people around the table too that you'll probably chat to afterwards. We've already mentioned the steakhouse quite a lot. Definitely make sure you go there. The Brazilian restaurant was really nice. It was an awful lot on the way of meat, so if you're a meat lover, that is the place to be. I enjoyed that food there. That was really nice. And then lastly, there is a French restaurant. Now this has got an additional charge. The rep said to us it was about £100 per person, which sounds like quite a lot, but I do think it looked like it was probably, you know, a nice choice if that's the sort of thing that you like. So I hope that's been of some help to you, and please do leave your questions and comments down below. If I can answer them, I will. I have only been to this resort one time, so I'm not the expert. There's other people out there that go time and time again and they've got lots. They might be able to answer your questions if I can't. But I do hope that that's helped somewhat, and I hope you've enjoyed all the little clips in between as well to show you some of the things that we enjoyed while we was there. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and make sure you've subscribed and put the notifications bell on because there's going to be more videos coming out. And like I say, especially the Coco Bongo. Oh my goodness, I didn't tell you the tip about Coco Bongo. You are going to love this one. When you go to Coco Bongo, which is an amazing night out that you absolutely have to go to, and I would say there's going to be a tip about that, but I'll just say very, very quickly, book with the Coco Bongo reps on site. You get exactly the same trip for a lot less money than if you're going with TUI. They will really look after you. It's the same insurance, it's the same everything. Don't be fooled into that one. When you come back from Coco Bongo, it's going to be about 4 o'clock in the morning. You might be slightly tipsy and you certainly will be hungry. And we went to the reception and said, like, where can we eat? We need to eat somewhere. Go back to the steakhouse. It's got snacks all night long right through till 6 a.m. I mean, goodness. So yeah, so that is definitely the place to go if you want to have something to eat in the Grand Serennis Hotel when you've come back from Coco Bongo. Like I say, make sure you check out the other videos in this series and please stay tuned for more. Thank you very much for watching and I hope you have a great time. If you haven't been there yet, do leave comments below and let me know. Bye for now.
If I will ever figure out where the road goes, even from falling down. I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind. I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground.